caution debris in turn 4.
Both drivers are door to door as they head towards turn 1 and 2. They make contact. Around both of them go.
Incredible race out there tonight, drivers. Thank y'all so much for putting on such a great show for these fans. There was side-by-side action, clean, good, hard racing. Thank y'all so much for what y'all did for these fans. And give them a wave as you come down the front straightaway.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of From the Tower podcast. We're going to go ahead and introduce our guest tonight, the one and only, the best stop-and-go man in the business, TJ Lee. What's up, TJ?
Going good.
Good, man. Guys, it's exciting to have TJ on. I mean, this guy's been part of the SSR family longer than we have, all three of us. So,
Probably longer than all three of us combined.
yeah, I mean, pretty close, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, TJ, how'd you get into stop-and-go and working at SSR?
Well, it started. I don't really remember the year. I want to say maybe 2017. I started the first time I was coming out. I was just doing it kind of part time, filling in when they needed somebody. And then after that season, it just progressed to, hey, you're the stop and go guy next year. So I've been there ever since.
And just get rolling with it?
It's been there ever since.
Did they at least give you a heads up? They didn't give me a heads up at all. I reached back out to see if they needed anybody the following year.
Well, it was kind of like about like that. Yeah. It was like, hey, did y'all need me to come out? Well, yeah. Aren't you coming?
Yeah,
I mean,
they just and
it's
that's
kind of that deal.
that was the
Yeah.
same thing I got. They were like, "Didn't anybody talk to you?" I was
So
like,
it's always just
"No,
kind of been
that's
like,
fine."
I'm there unless they tell me not to come. So
Right.
that's kind of
Well, I mean,
the way it's been.
for me, I came out to the open practice a week before opening night, and they're like, "All right, you want to try it out next week?" And I was like, "Yeah." And like, I just assumed because nobody mentioned anything to me at the end of that night, so I was like, "I guess I'm coming back in 2 weeks."
was-
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it was kind of hectic because Davey didn't have Facebook back then, and so
That's
he
right.
didn't
I
see the
remember that.
schedule.
I
He
remember
didn't
that.
see the schedule. He just texted, "Did we race this weekend?"
And
Yeah.
y'all would always forget to let me know, and like times would change. Like I had to be here an hour earlier, and you're like, "Where you at?"
Where
And
you
it's like,
at? Davy's
Still
like,
at home.
I'm eating Twinkies, taking a
Where
nap.
at?
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
You gotta get. You had to have Facebook. That was our way of bullying you back into getting one.
Yeah, yeah.
Now he's got Facebook and doing all of his crazy
All
stuff on
because
there.
of
All because it's
all
SSR.
because of the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
thanks to y'all, I bought my car off of Facebook. You know,
Exactly.
So
Yeah, marketplace is such a great thing. Like it really. I go on
at
there sometimes.
times, at times.
I go on there sometimes just to look at the crazy prices that some people have.
Oh yeah,
It's really fun to send people an offer that's like, "You want $1,200? I'll give
That's
you
the
$5."
entertaining part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you take $50?
and
Yeah.
it's crazy when they accept it too.
It is really wild.
Right.
I just look at race cars and I'm like, man, I wish I had $35,000 laying around.
The price of race cars has went up tremendously. I remember like 5 years ago, we were selling. You couldn't give race cars away, and now they're $25,000 to $30,000.
Well, yeah, I'm also looking at like late models. I'm not looking at.
Oh yeah, I seen
You want to go all the way in.
I want
Yeah.
to
I
get to the
saw a
top. Yeah.
street stock listed the other day for I think $26,000.
Yeah, the old Corey
That's
Bodie
crazy.
car.
Mhm.
Yeah, the 44.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Which
so,
it could be looked at as a good thing because the sport's kind of
for sure.
growing again locally.
But
Mhm.
it's not whenever we sold out a few years ago and we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
get near that amount of money
yeah,
for it.
yeah, it's not good when you already sold out.
Yeah, we
but,
sold out in a recession.
but to look on the brighter side, it does kind of point towards local racing kind of growing back to how it used to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and get more fans involved, more drivers involved.
Yeah, for sure, and bigger things at SSR. And
Yeah.
like you said, you've been here for a long time, a lot longer than us anyway. Coming back this year with the new ownership and the way the track looks, kind of give us your perspective of what you think so far of the track and how it's going.
Visually, it looks fantastic. I mean, I think the racing's been great all year.
Agreed.
Don't know much about the drifting. Just never have seen it
Mhm.
other than the
The exhibition, that we
exhibition
had.
night, that first night. So, it's interesting to watch.
Mhm. For sure. I mean, it's just again something else coming to SSR. Are you going to come out
Yeah.
to some of the drift events in
Hopefully
the future?
so. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to come out at least to one
Yeah.
just to check it out. I know the
It's-
kids want to see it. So
It's worth it for sure.
Yeah.
I know definitely bring, for the younger kids, probably some ear protection.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them cars they're louder than race cars.
Oh, yeah.
And especially down here in this valley. It's kind of like comparable to the Monster Truck Show. I don't know if it came
Right.
out to any of those,
yeah.
but it was just extremely
Super loud.
Yeah.
For sure. And bouncing off of the drifting thing, like I said, my daughter when she was here for the exhibition, she used to love short track racing, and
Yeah.
now she's older and she's a girl and blah blah blah. But the drifting, she was hooked. She loved it.
Oh
She
yeah.
was like, I want to learn all about it. So I can only imagine with your babies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially with all the different, I guess, types of cars they're using
Mhm.
for it. That's what's, kind of a draw to me, is to see what you can do with some of those cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything from American Muscle to all kind of imports. There
Yeah.
was a lot of like uh actually imported cars that were
Mhm.
right-hand drive.
Right-hand
Right.
drive
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
that'll be pretty cool to see some of those.
Yeah.
I-
Something you don't really see a
mhm.
lot of.
I really want to know how much that messes up the drivers of those cars to drive your daily driver being like an American car where you drive on the left side to go drift a car where you're on the right side.
Yeah. Not only
If
that,
that really messes them up
but
with any.
manual shift.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
be so lost. I'm pretty sure I just crashed because like I don't know if I could get myself to understand that.
Yeah.
It'd take a while
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and then, like Logan was saying, all the different types of cars out here for the drifting. I mean, when we
Yeah.
came out for the exhibition, you'd see there goes a Nissan 240, and then there goes JP Wyndham's Beamer, and then his wife's car. Then there's a Mustang, and then there's a Corvette, and you're like,
Mhm.
man, then a 350Z, and
Yeah.
it's just, and they're all on the track together. As to where racing, you have the same class at the track at one time.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was cool.
Mm.
Especially I feel like the Miata. There was one Miata that was out there, and I feel
Yeah.
like that as technical and tight as this track is, you got 2 or 3 of
Yeah.
them
I
out
think
there
that
side
would
by
excel
side.
in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The
It-
size of that car would fit right
Perfectly.
out there.
It did. It looked so much more proportional to the track.
Right.
So
It's just one of those things as to where like another form of motorsport again, and different cars. It just draws attention from different viewership. Well, TJ, your job at Stop and Go, it's always hectic at night.
It's
well, I mean,
nonstop.
Yeah.
he does stop and go, but he also like is our own track response guy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get into.
yeah.
It's like we call you Stop and Go, but I think all you do is go and go. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's a
mean?
little bit of everything. I mean, everything from making sure everybody's ready to go on the grid, to responding to any wrecks or just somebody stalling out.
Yeah. Do you have one accident that still kind of stands in your mind that you're like, man, that one sucked?
I can pretty much
mean,
tell
I
you
have
what it
one.
is.
Yeah.
I've seen some good ones out. Well, some bad ones if you
Mule.
want to say bad
The
ones.
mule.
But
I'm thinking the mule when
the
everyone
Mule,
was
that
got
was
hit.
a couple years ago. What, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 2 years ago. Opening night.
Opening night.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
It was my first season here. That
I
one
think
sticks
Brad
out to
West
me.
was
hard.
driving that
Yeah.
Legend,
Yeah.
and he hit the wall about the flag stand,
Yeah.
and it knocked the whole front right off.
And it never
He had
slowed
no
down.
I don't think he had brakes. at
I
that
don't think
point.
it did either.
He come all the way down the wall, and of course we scattered, and it hit head on into the mule.
Mhm.
I mean,
I will say from the flag stand to see like 6 neon roaches scatter from the mule.
Well,
was
it was like it was in
that-
slow motion.
and
It was pretty
like
wild.
like just to see y'all scatter, that part was kind of funny,
Mhm.
but like the
Yeah.
whole process leading
From-
up to it and after that wasn't funny. But
Yeah.
to just see 6 yellow shirt just boop.
From up there in the
Yeah.
tower, all we could see was the dust flying off of the car
Right.
as
Yeah.
it went down the wall.
Well, there's so
and,
much gravel down there
and
too.
well,
Yeah.
it was just one of those deals where I was like, "Oh, it never slowed down just from the puffs
Yeah,
of
it
dust
never-
coming off
it never
of it."
stopped.
And
Yeah.
the impact we could hear it in the tower whenever it hit.
Yeah, he hit it. How that mule was still running today.
Yeah,
Yes.
minus
I
front
have
bumper.
No
but
clue how that thing still works.
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure we talk about that every single week of like
It was
how
so
does this
iconic.
mule still
Yeah.
run?
Yeah.
we've
Because
seen
last season, me and you replaced the fuel filter every
what,
single week.
2 or 3 times
Yeah.
at least before the race day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen. There's been a lot of wrecks that, just been like, wow.
With Noah Davis
Noah's
last
Oh,
year.
last
Noah
year, the
Davis
wall.
was
Hole in
wrecked
the
last
wall.
year.
We had
Tegan.
even going back. Yeah.
Team Howe,
Team
the
Howe,
flip.
the
Yeah.
rollover.
I wasn't here that night, but yeah.
We had I don't know if y'all I know y'all weren't here, but when Kyler Bean used to run the
The Bandos.
bandos and he rolled it and barrel rolled all the way up to stop and go.
No, I
It
wasn't here for
stopped.
that one.
It stopped like upside down at stop and go. That's been I don't know how many years ago that one was.
Yeah.
The Stinger that hit the pit truck.
Yeah,
Remember that night?
I do remember that. That was Emery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Emery
do remember
Wilkinson?
that. Yeah,
Sure did.
he
He
got
spun
loose.
out and went
Yeah.
come up the stop and go up the hill, and we used to use the F-250.
Yeah, and,
The white
And
one.
it was parked like in the
It
little
was-
hashed area up there.
and Gavin was in
Gavin
it,
was-
and it was running. Apparently, according to Gavin, he
Yeah.
put it into gear,
wouldn't
and
go.
it wouldn't move. Like the transmission was slipping, and it caved the entire quarter panel
Yeah,
of
it
that
sure
truck
did.
in.
There was still a big blue mark dent on it.
Jeez.
Like
for
until we
forever,
quit using it.
until
Yeah.
we quit using it. Yeah.
Emery actually went over there after the races and signed the
Signed
deal.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy ones.
Mhm.
Seen some carts,
Well, I can
barrel
remember
roll. We had
Yeah.
the senior champs.
last year.
the '94.
Well, there was
Thomas
one,
Miller.
Thomas Miller.
Yeah, Thomas Miller did. There was
He
one
landed back
several
on the
years ago
wheels
that
and kept
flipped
going.
rolled. You know.
Yeah, I think you're talking
Remember
about
that
Hunter
night?
Watts.
I want to say he rolled
launched down the front straightaway and barrel rolled
Barrel rolled.
9-10 times.
At least.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was one of my first nights here.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's been a handful of years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my first nights here. That was a scary wreck.
Which hearing about all these wrecks, it really, if you see the track, it can amaze you because it's not a huge track.
No,
It's a quarter-mile track. It's super small.
But
And
it's super fast.
It
Super
is super
fast.
fast, and to have so many scary wrecks, it's really just unbelievable.
When it's
What
pretty
can happen out
high
here.
banked for a quarter mile.
Yes.
too. A lot of your quarter mile tracks are a lot flatter.
Yep.
This one
Mhm.
kind of mimics. It's kind of a mini mobile to where it's got the high banking to where
Yeah.
you actually get some speed built up out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's intense.
For sure.
And going back to the Noah Davis wreck, that may be the hardest wreck I've seen personally here.
Yeah.
He hit
Yeah.
the wall so hard it made
Yeah,
almost
that
like
one
a
was-
boom.
That one was a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
And
I mean, anytime you can put a hole in the guardrail, and we came out the next day and we're
Mhm.
looking, and the hood, I think, was like 40 foot in the
Out in
woods.
the woods,
A
yeah.
coil
yeah.
spring was out there in the woods. It flew
Mhm.
off of it, and the pole for that guardrail was bent, just level with the
it
ground.
he
laid
knocked it
flat.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing, the impact.
Yeah, it's
That's the reason the
unreal.
car just stopped.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it hit right where that pole was at.
hmm
And
I want to say it hit like just off to the side, like a little bit, didn't it?
yeah,
Like just to the left of it, just a hair. or
slightly.
something?
Yeah, slightly. It
just
wasn't
like-
center, but it was slightly, and it
think-
laid it
I
over.
think the right front hit the pole.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I think so. Yeah.
But I think if it was like a head-on shot, it could have been a lot worse than what it was.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was already pretty bad. I don't.
Yeah.
Did he say his throttle hung? Is that what
Yeah,
happened?
That's what. Yes, I think that's what was said.
Golly. Yeah, bad wreck. What's some non-wreck memories you got here at SSR? Some just crazy stuff happening? Anything like that?
No,
Not
nothing that really stands out. I mean, there's something crazy just
All
about
the
every week.
time?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing that really stands out as like, wow, that happened. But
Yeah.
The
it's
crazy,
not a wreck, you know.
Well, the craziest thing I can remember was a wreck, and it was years before I started working here, and it was back whenever the lights were still in the infield.
Oh yeah,
The pace truck hitting one of the lights.
Yep.
Yeah, that was well, and they had this little S10 that was lowered and it had a cool paint job and everything on it, and he would duck off in two, and he would do like a spin through the infield. And one time he just lost it and went head on into one of the lights. Boom. And so
but we used
it-
to have the dune buggy,
yeah,
I remember
the dune
Dune
buggy
Buggy,
too.
yeah.
and I forget who was driving it, but they would come flying up to Stop and Go and spin it up at Stop and Go up there.
Really,
Yeah, it was like one day you're gonna hit that wall.
Yeah.
One day it's gonna happen.
you just get a little too much confidence up sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah. The
Right.
dune buggy was fun. That was,
Yeah.
you know,
Classic. I remember coming out to the races back in the day before I started working here in that dune buggy, sitting in the middle of the infield,
yeah.
and then drop the broom and sweep
Well, it
up
had
for
the
you.
broom and it had the like the big tub with the oil dry in it.
Mhm.
And so you operated it from the driver's seat. You pull a lever and it dropped the oil dry down.
It's still out there, broke down.
Yeah.
So the motor's been off
in a
of it for
couple of
over a
pieces.
year. Yeah, I can remember back in the day. I think it was Michael Beasley used to drive it up to the gas station up here and
think
gas
so,
it up
yeah.
and everything because you'd drive by and we'd be going to Mobile or something. You'd see the dune
Mhm.
buggy up there gassing up for a race
Yep.
night here.
Classic dune buggy.
Hmm
I mean, over the years you've been working here, have you at least experienced good things? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
obviously it's always good race nights, but
Yeah.
you have bad nights too, I'm sure.
There's always, you know, you can have a bad night. I mean, for the most part, it's normally pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, this year, like I said, we've seen packed stands all season.
It's
It's-
been really packed. The car count's been higher than I can remember the last several years.
Yeah, it's been
Um,
great to see.
and the racing's been
Mhm.
it's been good racing. I
Mhm.
mean, no, I haven't really seen any issues with the racing, honestly,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Nah,
I mean,
you-
there's been, some pushing and shoving on the track with the cars, but
that's
to me,
expected.
it's been good racing in
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Very, very entertaining racing.
yeah, bumping. I mean, Ribbons Racing. Everybody says it. It's
Yeah.
the truth. The bumping's going to happen. That's racing.
But I mean,
Right.
just like we were talking about right before we hit record, the amount of tires that we lost this
This
past
past
weekend.
weekend.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
that was
entertaining.
crazy.
Wild.
You know, like I mean, it sucks that it happens, but it is. It does make the race nights a lot more entertaining.
Yeah.
especially whenever you get to watch one of them bounce back and land in the driver's lap.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Right.
that was just good.
Yeah.
And we had the drone. We kind of talked about the drone earlier too. I know every one of us here talked about several times we thought that was a piece of debris on track
Mhm.
because it would just line up perfectly with the groove
yeah.
and it would be going down track. It's like, what is that?
Especially down the back straightaway.
Yeah.
It dropped down, and it was like right where you would see something coming off the car.
Yeah.
I think it was Matt Nelson that got loose in practice and hit the wall, and then that's the tire that flew off, and he caught it, if I'm not mistaken, in the
I don't
77.
remember
posting the
who
champ.
I
it
don't remember
was.
who it was.
Yeah.
I just remember I watched it come off, and then it hit the wall and it bounced back into his lap. And then there was another one that literally the lap before he came down the front straightaway, and Tim goes, "Man, his right rear tire is kind of wobbling."
Mhm.
And then it went down and come back around. Whenever he went into 1 and 2, it came off.
Came off and went. We had more tires come off a cart this weekend than I've seen in my entire career here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
there
it
was
was
6
crazy.
tires that
It-
came off
At
over
least,
the night.
Yeah, 5 or 6 I know of.
Yeah,
There was at least 4 in practice.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. We have to start putting in some tightening your lug nut penalties or something.
Well, and we talked to Abe before the race about, even Andrew's daughter's, one of her tires came off, and he said that one of the studs broke, and then they only have 3 studs on them, and they're small. They're
Right.
really small. And so it just wallowed out until it eventually just broke the
Broke
other
on
2 off.
off. Yeah.
I think that might be a new record we might have to start holding here at the track is the most amount of tires lost by a driver in a single season.
Right.
Well, that one guy already has a head start because he lost the left rear and then came out for a second practice and lost the right
Yep.
front.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't get 2 complete laps of practice
No.
and with
Mhm.
2 tires off the cart.
Yeah.
But-
and thank you to all the drivers that went and retrieved their own tires. It made cleanup very easy. So.
That made it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only catching them, but just rolling up and picking them up off the track too.
Yeah.
And like you said, the drone. Shout out to Donnie. Good drone footage from him this weekend. And if you couldn't find the tire, he was going to find it with that
Oh, yeah.
drone. He was on top of
And,
it.
and he made sure that TJ was able to find it because he just sit there and circle it
Mhm.
until
Oh, yeah.
TJ pulled up on it.
Yeah.
So
I know one of them came up there towards y'all, didn't it? I think that was
That was off of Andrew's.
Yeah,
daughter's
that's
car.
what I thought, yeah.
It went up and hit the wall,
Mhm.
come back. But yeah. That was during a race too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was during
Yeah,
a
that was
race.
during one of the races.
Now, have you
That's-
ever taken a piece of debris to the body during a
No.
wreck or anything being up there at the
Nope.
top of Stop and Go?
Nothing like that. Never been run over.
have you ever been hit by any rocks up there? Like when they go to dive into 1 and 2?
No.
No.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a banking for a.
It
would
is.
ram
It would
the-
have to really come up there. The biggest thing, normally when something comes off going into 1, which we're normally up against the wall,
Right.
when it comes off, it slings it more towards like the very top, like
Yeah.
to the top to the center of 1 and 2.
I know last season when we had that one legacy race,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly, there was a piece of lead that came off going into 1 and slid up there to Stop and Go. If I remember
I
correctly.
think so. It slid up to the big flat area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We normally try not to have anybody out there because
Yeah.
of that.
you
know,
do
the
put
big
yourself in
hatched
dangerous
blind
way.
area up there. It's
Well, and
really
that's-
good not to be out there.
That's another reason why we stopped parking the truck out there was
Right.
because, if a go-kart gets loose and comes up there, they could
It's-
go up
yeah.
under it and they
Yeah.
could really
But-
hurt somebody.
But you definitely put yourself in harm's way by just being our emergency response guy out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's the
also,
biggest thing,
but-
especially when we're on track.
yeah, but
Several
especially,
drivers have buzzed close by,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
And I've gotten to where now here lately, I try to be a lot better about make sure you give them room, let them know on the receiver, stuff
Mhm.
like that.
but especially with the Mighty Mites to go out there. Some of those kids don't let up until they get to Stop and
No,
Go.
the Mighty Mites can be a lot like herding cats.
Yeah.
It's which this year they have seemed to be really good. They've
They're
seemed
very
to be
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
For sure.
Saturday night, I thought they put on a fantastic race.
They
Yeah.
really did.
I mean, they did really good, especially there was 11 or 12 of them.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Normally, when you get that many of them, it's
And we
It's
had
hectic.
like one caution during that.
Yeah, we had one
And-
I
caution.
think just during the heat.
The
They didn't.
heat,
I don't think they
yeah.
ran the feature went green. I think.
And
Yeah.
they responded very well to the caution lights and flag
Yeah.
whenever that happened.
Yeah, I think Drew Golf got loose in 1 and 2 and took it through the dirt over the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
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 See,
That was
the
our
only
one
That was the
caution,
only
yeah.
one. Yeah.
and then the 29 went through the grass, but I think that was after the race. Went down through the flat, the orange and gray car, and then he just kept.
26.
It's
26.
26,
Yeah.
yeah. And then he
Yeah.
just kept
Jacob
going
Strickland.
and kept coming around, and then he finally came to a rest because it bottomed out in the very center of the track by the
Yep.
wall.
Yep.
I was like, TJ, get to him quick, man. The car just acted weird, and TJ got to him and was like, he said he's good.
Yeah, he just kind of
Yeah.
floated to the middle of the
Yeah.
track. It was kind of, Jacob Strickland in
I
that
thought
26.
something broke on it, honestly,
Yeah.
the way it went down through the grass and it just kind of stayed in the infield. But it may have been him just trying to make sure he didn't pull back up in front of anybody and get hit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, like you said, a fun race night for all the divisions.
Oh yeah.
But I want to ask you, and you can be honest here, do you have a favorite division to watch?
Probably 2. I like the Bandos and the Legends.
Bandos
myself.
and the Legends, yeah.
Yeah.
Those seem to be the more of the crowd puller, but
Yeah.
a lot of people love kart racing. Obviously, we have multiple divisions of karts, so
Yeah.
um,
The carts put on a good show.
When they're doing the slingshots and the
the back and
When
forth.
they
back and
get to
forth with the
drafting
crossovers.
and crossing over, they put on a really good show.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, if you
they
have
do
not
really good.
right, if you have not been to SSR to watch the pro seniors or the senior champs draft, the draft on a quarter mile is crazy to watch because it's visually you're able to see how much the draft helps somebody.
Hey,
You'll
you
have
can-
somebody come out of 2 that's like 4 or 5 cart lengths behind, and they'll be passing them going into 3.
Yeah.
Just because the draft is so
it's
hard.
not just those adult divisions either. The
Junior
junior
champs,
champs
too,
do
yeah.
it as well. And a lot of times that kind of messes them up. I think that's where we've had a few wrecks down there in 3 and 4s because they'll get such a run down
Closing
the
races.
back, and they don't. Well, it's more speed than they've
Yeah.
ever had in that go kart. And
Right.
even if they get position on the inside, it tries to wash up or it tries to, it gets
Mhm.
out from under them because they've never taken that corner that fast before.
Right.
Which we've talked about that on a couple episodes of if you get too much speed, something that you're not used to,
Mm-hmm.
it can mess you up.
Mhm.
And I mean, I have to agree with you on that. That whenever you carry more speed than you're used to, especially coming out of 4, like we have said, it comes up quick and it gets real narrow and they're real tight. You will
Well, and
have a caution right there.
3 and 4 is a tight corner to make anyways because
Yeah.
you do
yeah.
get more speed down the back than you do the front,
Mhm.
and so you carry more speed through 3 and 4, and it tightens up that much, and it's technical, and,
Yeah.
and a lot of times that's where you see a lot of people slip up.
Yeah, I mean, you get that feeling like if you're driving down the road or in your car, you're going too fast. As an adult, sometimes it can scare you. I can only imagine a 7 or 8-year-old in a racing go kart
Right.
going into a corner and trying to make a decision on what I need to do.
Well, and
To
a
save
lot of
myself
people
here.
don't realize what kind of mentality it puts you in once you're strapped into a car
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
Where we run neck braces or neck restraints in every division. A lot of kids have the halos around them to where they, their head won't beat around or come out of the cart in a situation where they hit the wall.
Arm
And
restraints, wrist restraints,
all that, and
they're all
you're strapped
contained.
into the point to where you can't move, and it is very overwhelming
Yeah.
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot, especially like we said, the young kids
Mm-hmm.
getting used to it. But some of these kids, I feel like, are fearless.
Yeah.
Natalie Earhart,
Yeah.
Davey. What does Natalie Earhart do every time you do a signal on the track?
She'll give me a thumbs up, and not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago, she was doing her victory flag lap, and she was holding the flag over here, and I gave her a thumbs up because that's like our little thing back and forth, is because she always does it to me, and I don't know what came over, but she completely let go of the wheel and gave me a thumbs up while holding the flag, and the cart just kind of darted in. I was like, please don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
But they are fearless and they're super resilient.
Mhm.
The number 29 in the junior
Madeline
team,
Rainer.
Madeline
I
Rainer,
was
yeah.
I was waiting for Davey to quit
They-
talking. I wanted to give her a shout out
Yeah.
because
she is super resilient. She
Yeah.
had that bad wreck 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
Mhm.
where
Came
she's
out
still
here-
bruised 2 weeks
Yeah.
later from it.
and she almost clipped the inside wall
Almost.
over here.
And
I
Brad-
mean,
Well, and she got back out that night after that wreck, and
Yeah.
then she got scared about halfway through.
Yeah.
She did admit that, and I told her
Yeah.
because we were talking the other night.
which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
saw the hit that she took,
and
that is
so
completely
her
understandable.
dad wanted to test the receiver after the drivers meeting the other day, so we were walking up to the tower, and she was kind of talking to me as we walked, and she was like, "I just got scared," and I was like, "Yeah, but you were so brave to get back out there,
Mhm.
a
I
lot
promise
of
you,
people-
I wouldn't have gotten back
Yeah,
out there.
exactly. And then come to I think the feature the other night, and she led a good
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah.
laps in the feature and
She
was
breached-
actually
yeah.
pulling away with it, and unfortunately just
Got
got loose
loose-
off
got
four
loose off
and
four and
went through
looped
the
it.
infield.
Yeah.
But to hit those the tires head on like she did, and she thought it was a fun joyride,
Bounced
Yeah.
it right on
and,
off.
and
Yeah.
just got back
Right.
on track
That
and kept on
slingshot
going.
off
Like,
of the rubber wall must
but
be a little fun.
the
So close to hitting
resilience,
that concrete
yes,
too.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so
but
that's what a lot of times I'll probably get a little bit animated with TJ on the radio. I'm like, get to him quick because safety is one of our top priorities here.
Mhm.
Right.
I believe you now have a paramedic that rides with you in the truck. I saw
Yes.
somebody riding with you the other night.
Yeah.
I don't know her
Um,
name.
yeah.
Shay.
Shay.
Okay.
I have not met Shay yet.
I think maybe the
She's
same.
come out. I want to say she was at the end of last season. I think she came out for the last race,
Okay.
and then I think she's been out for a couple of
Well,
maybe practice
when we
sessions
came
or
out
something
last
this year.
Tuesday. I think she was out there on the mule,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and me and Davey
There was a
kinda met her
couple
then.
people cutting
Yeah.
open laps for practice, and
Yeah,
they come to
I
do
think
the
she's been out for some of
episode.
that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, she'll be riding in the truck. So
And I appreciate that. We've had a couple of we call them our first responders or our medic team or whatever. And sometimes, we've had to use parents that are working on their go-karts in the pit area.
right.
And we have to call for them. And
Right.
any time lost in a situation like that is not what you want. And so now that we have somebody on scene immediately, it's much better.
Yeah. I want to cut back to Davey talking about Natalie and her victory lap, and the victory lap with the checker flag, something we added this year.
Mhm.
And I know sometimes you're the one handing out the checker flag.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of positive feedback about the checker flag victory lap. It kind of gives the kids more of a shout out for a good job for winning the race or whatever. What do you think about that? Do you kind of feel the same way?
I think it's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will say that everybody that pulls up there is excited.
Yeah.
You can tell they're excited. They're celebrating in the car.
Mhm.
They get the checker flag and they take off. So
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's visually awesome.
yeah.
Very
well,
much
I
so.
don't know if y'all two can see it or hear it from inside the tower, but when they come down the front stretch during their victory lap, I've never seen the crowd actually cheer and clap so hard
Right.
for that person winning.
Right.
Because as we all know, after they take the checker, they do their cool down lap before they exit the track.
Right.
And you have a couple people clap and cheer.
Right.
Generally, the family of that driver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
But this season with the victory lap, the whole crowd claps and cheers and
Right.
shows appreciation to these drivers for putting on such a great show and going out there
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
you can
winning.
definitely hear it.
Yeah.
I know
Definitely hear it.
half of the laps or half of the checker flag victory laps. If I really pay attention to it, I'll get chill bumps because
Mhm.
it's just so awesome to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my dad this weekend on Easter. We were kind of visiting, and I was like, "Hey, you come out. We're changing some stuff up." And he used to do that at Mobile whenever he would win. I've talked
Uh-huh.
about that previously.
Mhm.
When I told him that we reinstated that and we're doing that now, oh, he got so excited and just started talking about him doing it previously and
Yeah.
all that. And I was like, okay, well, this is a great thing that we've wanted to do for a long time, but we would kind of go over time frames.
Yeah.
And we've kind of got the show rolling really good. Abe
Mhm.
talked about it a couple weeks ago where, I think we're about 20 minutes over this week, but we
Yeah.
also had a 40 lap legend feature this week.
Yeah.
Which
Plus
was,
an added feature because we had to split one division
yes.
Mhm.
And that added heat races, that
Yep.
added more races overall.
and another
With a
qualifying session.
huge Easter egg hunt.
Yep.
So, I mean, we really are trying to give back to the fans and make this a great show overall.
I mean, not only giving back to the fans, but giving more of a spotlight to the winners. As
Exactly.
Davey was saying a little bit ago, they would take a checker flag, and that's when your crowd would usually clap and
Mhm.
cheer, and then they go around and they go off the track.
But
And that's the
they're-
last time you see them for that.
Well, and they're also coming down the straightaway with every other racer.
Yep.
They're in a group.
Yeah.
They're not
Right.
singled out and individual.
Right, and that's what I was fixing to say. Now we give them the checker flag at stop and go.
Right.
They come around, they go backwards or frontward. I saw
Mhm.
Carter Taylor did the
Carter-
backwards Alan
Yeah.
Kowicki
Yeah.
Polish victory lap
Yeah.
style.
I think he's done that every time he's won
Mhm.
this year.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's
so.
kind of his thing.
But they come out of turn 4. I give them another, here's tonight's
Mhm.
winner in the junior champ division, Natalie Earhart or whatever.
Right.
And then everyone, yeah, it just gives them that much more. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
confidence.
And it's
It's a
not
confidence
just
builder.
it's not just for the winner.
Mhm.
Now that we have the victory laning
Mhm.
down on the infield and we have the top 3 stop
Mhm.
for every single driver that is announced here for every podium position,
Mhm.
the crowd cheers for every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's not just the winner.
Right, it's the
whenever
top
they do it.
3.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
winner gets the victory lap, sure, but you also get not only that driver gets more exposure, their sponsors do, and then just a little bit more time in the fans to
Mhm.
get to know that one driver just a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just the amount of time and effort getting put into these little details each race night, I feel like is making leaps and bounds of changes for the better.
I feel like that's for sure. I mean, um, getting them, they work so hard on the cars, the
Mhm.
kids, especially the little kids.
Right.
Why not, let them celebrate, let them have a lap that's
Yeah.
just theirs.
Right.
They won the heat race. That may be the only heat race they win all year.
Mhm.
Right. And that's their
So
little spotlight of
that's
time.
their
Yeah.
little spotlight of time. Maybe
Then
that was, they can't race the whole season. They're only racing 4 or 5 races. You don't know.
Well, then
Right.
they get to pull down there and they get not only a picture in victory lane, but a picture holding the flag. in
Holding the
victory
checker
lane,
flag,
you know,
right.
and that's
Well,
It
really
means
cool.
that much more.
well,
And I gotta hand it to you too. I haven't seen a furled up or a tangled up flag yet this
Yeah.
season, so you
Right.
must be like stretching it out
I'm
for them as
stretching it
they're
out. My concern with the go-karts is it
getting
rip
on the
it back on
exhaust.
the
Yeah,
exhaust.
we might have to put it in
So,
all of
may
their
have to
left
try to
hand.
do it on the left
Yeah.
side, but
but
that's been my biggest concern is make sure it don't get on that exhaust when they pull up there.
Yeah.
but speaking of drivers getting their own laps, and you mentioned qualifying a little bit ago, how do you feel about the single car qualifying for the Legends rather than the group qualifying / control practice?
I prefer the single car myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It gives them that whole track is theirs.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Well,
let's see what you can do.
and
I
it,
mean,
it also
this is,
you're racing yourself in a situation like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Whereas when you're out there in a group, not for nothing, everybody's going to try and get behind Carter Taylor, follow his
Right.
line, and try and follow his lap times.
Right.
And so it's the rabbit that you want to chase, and
Yeah.
a lot of times you can run faster chasing.
Mhm.
Well, if you're just out there by yourself and you make a mistake, that's 100% on you, and
yeah.
you can overdrive the car just because you don't have that rabbit out there to chase.
Right.
Well, also, when you're out there by yourself, you are able to push that car, in my opinion, a little bit harder without the consequence of messing somebody else's
Yeah.
night
Yeah.
up.
But in that pushing harder, you can go too far and
And,
you
right.
can
and
completely
mess
miss a
yourself up.
corner.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But I feel like, any respectful driver, if they have other cars around them, they're not going to push as hard to not try to mess them up before they even get to the feature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
And I do want to give a shout out to you two because we don't really do much up there for qualifying. Y'all have got it down to such a science of when to send the next car, the flags, everything out there on the
That's
track. To
that's
where,
that's really TJ.
Mhm.
TJ watches the track and he judges whenever to send them out, and
yeah.
I just throw the flags as they come to
Well,
me.
I know
So that's
whenever
really up to TJ there.
when Abe brought it up, he was like, "Well, we need to figure out something." I was like, "TJ's got it. Like
Yeah.
he's got the timing down. Every time we've done it, he's got it down to a science."
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, we'll edit that.
No, no, on a serious note, we both, me and Logan, work at Mobile and here obviously, and just your not only your race knowledge, but just the general understanding of what's going on around you is very, very important.
Yeah.
And it's very light. I'm pretty sure about Logan for sure because it
For
helps
sure.
his
Well,
job be
And
so much easier.
I don't have to necessarily tell you every time what to do.
Right.
You kind of act on instinct, and that's the great thing about you having been here for so long. Whereas with Mobile, they more rely on, hey, we want the instructions of tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Really the only thing I'll do every now and then is, hey, there's a caution, we need to get to them quick because of what I saw. But half the time you're watching it too, and you saw it as well.
Yeah.
And so, that little yellow pickup truck, it comes flying out there a lot of times,
Yeah.
and it's a great thing.
Yeah.
I do want to give kudos to TJ over here because he has to have extremely good patience because you're dealing with the drivers and the parents down there
Mhm.
while you also have Logan chirping in your ear,
Well, there's plenty of
trying
times
to say
I know
something.
this past
So
week-
you have so much stuff going on.
It was like
You have to have good
I
patience.
don't even remember who was talking to me on the radio. I think it might have been Logan. It may have been you. And it was like I was like, I don't know what you were saying.
Was
I've got
me.
3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 3 people standing in front of me, and everybody's saying something different.
Yeah, and
you
that's-
have to repeat.
Well,
everything
and
you
that's-
just
I actually
said.
think it was both of us because I think you called him like 10 times.
Yeah.
But he was busy and we can't see that far, so we didn't know what
Well,
was going on.
and honestly,
so then I was like, "Hey, TJ,
we have
can
new
you hear us?"
radios now, but I'm so used to the old radios going dead. I was like, oh
Yeah.
God, did maybe he lose a radio or
Right.
something?
Yeah.
And TJ does have to deal with a lot. I make the calls from the tower.
Mhm.
TJ then has to enforce those calls. So
Right.
he's got to be the bad guy
Yeah.
that, is speaking for me. And then, a lot of times they want to argue with him. Well, it's a moot point to argue with TJ because all he is the messenger.
Right.
And so if you have an issue, come see me after the race. We'll talk it out, but not during the race night. We're kind of busy.
Yeah.
We're trying to roll through and get through all the races and
Right.
Yeah.
make sure everybody's out of here at a decent time.
Yeah.
Preferably during intermission or at the end of the night.
Yeah. I had to talk to a couple drivers during
best time.
intermission and
Yep.
talk to some people after the race too. So I mean, it's part of the job,
Yep.
and I don't mind talking to you, and I'll explain anything I can. I 2 phone calls yesterday about stuff, and I'm appreciative that nobody called me on Easter because that was a good thing, and so they
Right.
waited till Monday, and they had questions, I had answers, and I try to end every interaction like that by telling them I appreciate you reaching out to where I could clarify because
Right.
I'd rather you reach out and let me clarify what's going on than you just be pissed off because you misunderstood or you just
Yeah.
made up a scenario in your head.
Yeah, it may be bad luck to call and complain on Easter.
I know.
It may
I
be
just
some
wouldn't have
kind of
answered.
bad omen or something
Just wouldn't have answered.
with so many different superstitions in racing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're going to take a second and shout out our sponsors. We at From the Tower want to take a second and thank all of our amazing sponsors, the 2 of them we have right now. The first one, OEC Workplace Solutions. They donated us a very beautiful table to do our work on, so thank you to them. Go see them for all the other office supply needs, office furniture needs. They have multiple lines of furniture and different things you need for the office setting. Make sure you reach out to them and check them out. Also, All Star Graphics, Matt Hillhouse, a racer here at SSR, does a great job with the cars on track vinyl work, stickers, shirts, t-shirts, signs, yard signs. Has everything you need to make sure all your signage needs are taken care of. Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah. Birthday. It's your birthday.
Well, welcome back, guys. Thank you to our sponsors again. But TJ, like we were saying, and boys, great night of racing. I
Yeah.
mean, another night and just action packed through all the classes. I feel like everybody put on a heck of a show. 12 legends again. I mean, the last one was 13, I think.
Yeah.
And this one was 12. We were missing somebody, Evan Johnson, who was on vacation. But still, a great field of legends.
Oh yeah.
And just put on a well of a show. The inverts for each field too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the inverts have really thrown a wrench into people's deal, and we amended what we were doing because we were doing the invert before the heat race.
Mhm.
So a little bit of sandbagging,
Right.
to try and get that, oh, I need to finish in this spot to get back on pole, or I need to finish in this spot to get back on the front row. So we waited till intermission, and then we rolled the dice at intermission. Shout out to All Star Graphics for redoing our dice. It
Yeah.
was horrible looking before.
And it looks beautiful.
It
now.
does
It is
look amazing.
great now. It has 2 6s on it. We do not have a 1, so
Right.
you're not going to start on pole if you win.
No.
And so, yeah,
It's about to be a 5 wide finish.
yeah. Well, and,
Nobody wants to finish first.
I got to get me somebody on staff that can go chase the dice for me
Uh-huh.
because when Chase Hart rolled it, I thought it was going all the way to turn 3.
It pretty much did.
It just kept going. It was like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, you did make a couple circles around it, so that was kind of your fault.
I was trying to be like the drone. I was giving it full perspective.
Yeah.
At what point do you just stop and like, oh, it's a 6. Oh man.
Yeah.
I feel like the dice roll and the choose has really packed up the racing this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
That's
choose
really made a big difference.
Yeah.
the choose is shaking things up, man.
Yes.
It's been
And
very entertaining to watch.
To me, it's the people you don't think would choose are
Right.
the ones that are
Right.
choosing the most.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is a great thing because
Yeah.
it's giving them positions and it's making the racing better. But, if I'm 4th in line and the top 3 take the inside, I'd probably take that outside just to see if I can
Yeah.
sneak into 2nd or 3rd and get a
Right.
position
That's right.
there.
Slide in front of somebody.
Exactly. And so we haven't seen that as much. I think as the year goes on, we might see it a little bit more
Mhm.
because it's something new. It
It's-
takes a little
yeah.
while to get that
Yeah.
kind of stuff integrated. So
Yeah.
The
But-
ones that have surprised me this year are all the Bando drivers that moved up to Legends. They're
Right.
still getting comfortable in those cars, but
They'll
they are
pop up there and
they
try
are
it,
not
yeah.
afraid
mhm.
to take the outside
Yeah.
on
And it
resource.
is so hard to pass on that outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
they are determined to make it work
Yeah.
every
They're
single
gonna
time.
make it work.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
They'll find a way to make it stick. And like we were saying, shaking up the race, and as to point of like, these guys are just hopping to the top and just hoping it sticks. And sometimes it does. I mean, we've seen it work out a few times too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just taking
Even
the
if it's
chance.
just, you put yourself in the position that if the first place car gaps them just enough where you can slide back down in there,
Mhm.
I mean, you just improved 4 spots.
Yeah. And then they have to pass you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you can make that car 3 lanes wide if you need to, and make them work for that pass.
Yeah.
And the leader might get away from you a little bit, but you might actually finish up there to where you get to
Yeah.
Instead
stop
of
on the
fifth,
front
you're
stretch.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
then that person that got passed, who knows how aggressive they'll be trying to get back around.
Exactly.
Because if they were on the leader's tail before the caution,
Mhm.
now they're behind somebody that just came from 5th place.
Yeah.
It's going to shake it up a
That's
lot.
right.
Yeah.
And then that's, kind
It
of the whole
has
point.
it's been interesting for
Mhm.
sure. And we first night, couple hiccups on the choose deal. But we haven't really had major issues since then.
Mm-mm.
People have chosen pretty clearly.
Mhm.
We go over it in the drivers meeting.
Yeah.
Even if you can't hear on the receiver, which we try and make sure everybody can before they go out. Another job TJ does is receiver checks over on the grid.
Yeah.
We do our visual cue with Davey. Whenever
Yep.
Davey holds up 2 to go on the caution field,
Mhm.
that's your choose lap.
Right.
And we try and make sure everybody knows it. They do a great job getting back formed up, coming back around to 1 to go, and then they put on a great show for these fans.
I will say with the choose, I'm honestly surprised at how many single file restarts we've had.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah, we've had a
of
few,
more
yeah.
people not
And a
trying
lot
to
of
They're
times,
scared
take
to
that
get off the
outside.
bottom.
well,
Yeah.
a lot of
Scared to get
times
off
it's
the
in
bottom.
that senior champ division, and
Right.
the pro senior champ division. And from what those drivers have told me, the outside's a black hole.
Yeah.
But we saw some drivers go out there and with only 2 of them on the outside, make the pass for the lead.
Mhm.
And in their defense, also, it is kind of scary to take that outside because with them using the draft so much in that division, if you take the outside and you get left out there high and dry,
Yeah.
and you don't have
They go in the back.
you don't have nobody out there to draft with you.
Right.
And as a driver, there's that old adage of 8 tires is better than 4. So if you're on the outside, you're more likely to get used up
Yeah.
by somebody. We hadn't seen it a lot, but there's always that possibility of somebody overdriving the corner, washing up, and getting into you.
Yeah. And I mean, in the bandos, they come so high out of 4, it gets tight close to that wall. I'm sure from your vantage point, you see just how close you get in Davies too on the flag stand, but I'm washing up to the wall in a bando or even a legend. I'm pretty sure, scary.
Especially
They'll also,
with how many of them have been loose coming out of 4.
yeah,
And
That's
then
been all year.
all
Yeah.
season so
All
far.
year.
so not only are they getting close to the wall, but they are
Who smacked it coming out of 4 this week? It was one of the
Darvin
somebody-
Lyons hit it in the cart
yeah.
coming out of
I
4.
want to say a bando scraped it going down.
well. I remember 2 carts.
It wasn't hard enough to damage. I mean, they
No.
scraped
Just
it. going
barely
down.
touched it. Yeah.
But I do remember 2 carts hit it. It was Darvin Lyons and somebody else. I can't remember the other person.
Mhm.
But yeah, those bandos have been loose coming out of
Was it
4, and they are already getting close to the wall. So
Ethan Caress.
Was it
I
Ethan
think
Caress?
was
Yeah.
Ethan
I
Caress.
think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
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 Because
Yeah.
it's one of those
Yeah.
deals where, from our perspective, it's hard to tell if they actually get into it or not.
Yeah.
But you're looking straight down that
Yeah.
wall, so you can see perfectly every time.
Yeah. Sometimes we can barely just see the roof of the car. They get
They'll
so close to the
disappear.
wall. Yeah.
There's been several times where there's been a wreck or something, and I'm like, "Where's the wreck at?" And it's because they're up against the wall,
Right.
and we can't see them from the tower.
Yeah.
It was that way whenever Madeline Rayner got in the wall earlier this year.
Yeah.
So I was about to bring that up. Whenever she got into the wall, it happened pretty much right below me,
Yeah.
and before Logan could even think about how hard it was, I was already queued up to TJ saying, "Hey, that was a super hard hit. We need somebody here ASAP."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to when you're on that wall, it's so hard for y'all to
Mhm.
see right there.
Yeah.
Well, especially a lot of people don't realize how tall that wall is.
Right.
It
When
is
you're
super tall.
when
Yeah.
you're down on the racetrack, I'm 5'6". It's almost taller than me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
it's-
a lot of things are taller than me. Shut up, Davey. I see you gearing up with one over there. It's in the chamber. But no, a lot of people don't realize how tall the wall actually is down the
Mhm.
front stretch. That the cars just kind of disappear. The
Yeah.
bandos
Yeah.
do. Heck, even we were talking about Brad West whenever he got into the mule
Yeah.
a couple years ago. That legend was gone up
Yeah.
against the wall. We
You
could
didn't
not
see it. All you saw, like you said, was the cloud of like smoke and dust behind it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you could see.
Yep.
Yeah, that wall. I think it goes up to like here on me. I mean, it's right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty tall.
If it goes up to there on Tim, it's got to be taller than Logan at this point.
Yeah.
I'm high level with it, I think.
That's pushing it.
He's wearing boots. He's wearing boots. And making little taller.
I got my lifts in.
It's probably more like platforms.
Platforms.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
You got that every inch counts. Every inch counts. But
Especially-
anyway,
especially in racing.
especially in racing. That's right. Back to the legends. We were talking about Carter Taylor earlier and just how fast he is. And
Mhm.
I don't know. but he wound up getting 6th in qualifying. We didn't run a heat race for the Legends.
Mhm.
We ran single car qualifying and then ran the 40-lap feature, which 40 laps, guys, I felt like was a great race. It gave
Yeah.
plenty
Was.
of time for not only, good racing, but different storylines. Chase Hart having to go to the back for the accident he was involved in
Yeah, just
and
some
has to fall, his way back to the front.
Yeah, unfortunate deal there. People are really pushing to find those track limits.
Mhm.
The paved surfaces on the inside of the racetrack are not a raceable area,
Out of bounds.
and we're seeing that to where every now and then when they're following, especially when they get really close to somebody, we've had it the last 2 weeks. Bando a couple weeks ago, and then this past weekend with Chase. You can put 2 tires down there, and it shoots you back up the track. And a lot of times you've shortcut the course to where now you're inside of that competitor,
Right.
and you wind up turning them around.
Right.
In a situation like that where it's extremely clear cut that you made a mistake, you went out of bounds, we're going to put that car that you spun back in their position. And we've done that consistently this year. And that's the main thing, is trying to be consistent with the calls we make.
Right.
With new owners, the track has changed.
Yes.
So
And we have an overall rule of, if you're involved in the caution, you go to the rear.
Right.
Just plain and simple. If you're the car that gets turned or you're the car that does the turning. But in a situation where you go out of bounds, we're gonna make a call based off of that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's what we call an extenuating circumstance, I guess, to where it's not gonna happen every time. But if we can clearly see that you went out of bounds and caused that caution,
Mm-hmm.
then we're gonna only punish the person that went out of bounds.
Right. And which in that case was Chase Hart
Yeah,
Saturday night.
extremely humble too. I saw he apologized to Cameron on the Facebook post he made,
Right.
which was very mature.
Right.
Chase is still a young man.
Yep.
Very mature for him to go out there, tag him, and say that he made a mistake.
Right. And so just another storyline that a 40-lap feature was able to provide,
Mhm.
to watch him come back and finish 4th. I
Yeah.
mean, he started 4th, finished
And
4th, but
he did
he
it
was fast.
cleanly.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
make contact with anybody. He didn't move anybody. He set up the corners. He, made passes down the straightaways where he could. You never want to see a caution, but kind of was maybe thinking if we got one, I guarantee if we would have had any caution from there moving forward, he'd have took that
He would have
outside.
went to the outside on
He
the
would have went to
choose.
the outside, and he would have gave Carter a run for his money probably,
Well,
because
Yeah.
they have been lights out this year.
Yeah.
which I even mentioned it Saturday with this 40-lap feature that we had. We were able to see different varieties, I should say, of racing.
Hmm.
Who pushed their car hard in the beginning of the race
Right.
compared to who saved it to the
Yep.
end.
Right.
Because we normally run 20-lap features.
Right.
We ran
25 lap, I think.
125 and 130, I
Yeah.
think, this year.
Yeah.
So adding those extra 10 laps, it really does make you drive a little
you
bit
could tell
different.
who was saving the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could see it.
You saw a couple of them fade quickly toward the end of the
Yeah.
race.
Well, not only that, it's just, again, Chase Hart. He that happened. I don't remember what happened. It was early, 12, 15
Yeah,
up
it was
in there.
before halfway, I think.
And he had plenty of time, and he knew that. He was like, all right, I've got 25 laps or whatever it was to settle in and pick my way back through this pack. And he did it to perfection.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he didn't push hard
No.
leading up to that
No.
race.
Well-
Which he did. It was hard, but it wasn't too hard.
Right.
To,
It wasn't
to where
aggressive.
to where he
And-
still had his car to make that.
Well, he
comeback
was our
through.
fast qualifier, and I think he rolled a 6 maybe.
Yeah, I
Or-
think so.
And
Yeah.
so it put him pretty far back in the pack. So
Yeah.
that's what he was trying to make his way up there. And that's whenever he made contact with Cameron.
Yeah.
And
He
so
rode a 4.
he rode a 4.
It was a 4. Yeah.
Okay. Still going from the inside row to the outside row is
Yeah.
always a
Yep.
challenge.
Yeah, he definitely rolled a 4 because he started
Gotcha.
4th and he was fast qualifier. Like you
I
said.
know. I don't think we had a dice roll below a 3.
Nope.
And so-
3 was the lowest. Yep.
Yeah.
The dice roll shaking it up again, like we said. Just providing some extra fun for everybody.
Oh yeah.
But Carter Taylor, another win this year in the Legend. He showed up, showed out, and did his thing. Bryce Castile. We talk about the Bando boys as we've dubbed them, coming up from the Bandos. And I mean, TJ, I've been here long enough to see him in Junior Champ. I know you've seen him come along even
From Mighty
before then.
Mites,
Yeah.
Champs, and some of them running Mighty Mites.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And-
I talked about it before, but Evan's the reason that we start at the start finish line now. Because we used to start over in 3 and 4, and they literally couldn't turn their neck to see the flag
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And so, I mean, watching these kids grow up's got to be kind of fun to like, man, this kid was knee high to a grasshopper starting at our racetrack, and,
yeah.
and now he's out here dominating Legends. I mean,
That's right.
is that something fun for you to watch?
It's
and
fun
enjoy?
to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely fun to see them progress.
Yeah. Well, you talk about it like Carter Taylor again. going from like here and going to Outlaws in Mobile, and he
Mhm.
dominates in that now. He's really fast no matter where he goes. So just fun to watch. I'm
Yeah.
sure on
If
your
you remember
side
when
too.
he was running the bando?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Was running the bando and the junior at the same time,
was.
and
Yep.
then went to running the bando and the legend at the same time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And man, we've talked about it before. If anybody offers him a steering wheel, he's going to take it.
Yeah.
And no matter what the division is, I guarantee if he could squeeze into a junior cart right now,
He would
he
run
would
it.
go out there and run
Yeah.
one. So, but he's like 6 foot tall, so
Yeah.
it needs to be in the chest.
Yeah.
So,
But like we said, fun to watch these kids grow up and,
yeah.
and race.
It's fun just watching the home track kids or drivers do anything big.
Yeah.
Like this is my third season here,
Right.
and last year when we had Bryce Castile and Evan Johnson
That race.
go up to nationals and only got beat out by
Mhm.
Brexton.
Mhm.
Whenever we see, personally, whenever I see interviews with either one of them or I see something like that, it hypes me up because I'm in the back of my head. I'm like, I flag his races every 2 weeks.
I do the same thing. Yeah.
well, it kind of speaks testament to the difficulty of this track
Yeah.
and
Right.
the kind of drivers it produces.
Yeah.
I know we spoke on it last week. 3 of the 5 winners last race at Mobile were Sunny South alumni.
Yep.
They cut their teeth here. This is where they got their start, and they just spread throughout the Gulf Coast, and that's an amazing thing to see.
Yeah. And to the parents, we're not taking credit for the kids' driving ability or
No.
driving style.
Absolutely
We
not.
just
Not at all.
claim the kid as they're from this racetrack. This is where they started, and we are proud of that.
Yeah.
So don't take any offense to what we're saying. We just love to say that these kids started at our racetrack. So
Just proud to say that we're a small part of
Right.
them growing.
right.
Even though we aren't really doing anything to make them a better driver.
Right.
But just to say, hey, we were a part of when they started,
Right.
and now they're here.
Yeah,
Right.
It's just a cool thing
We're-
to
the
look
big-
back on.
The biggest thing to me is when they leave here, they go race with respect.
Right.
I've never heard a complaint about any of our drivers racing anywhere else that they were overly aggressive, anything like that.
Mhm.
And that's my biggest thing is we want to teach them proper race etiquette,
Right.
and that's the biggest thing to me.
Yep.
Learn the race etiquette, then take those stepping stones, take it throughout the country. I mean, Cole Denton is now he cut his teeth here, is now running ARCA,
ARCA.
and
Yep.
that is amazing to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
And before our time, Grant Enfinger, but
Mhm.
he started right here at SSR.
Yep.
We're not saying, we need anything, but we're just saying when your kids make it to NASCAR, some pit passes would be cool.
Yeah. Autographs of any kind. We all love die casts.
For sure.
Yeah.
We all have a diecast collection. TJ, do you have a diecast
Sure
collection?
do.
Do you?
Sure do. Yeah.
We got to see TJ's diecast
We've
collection.
Some
never-
old school ones.
We've never.
Do you?
Yeah.
Dang, we got to
Well, speaking of old school, the hat. I've loved that hat ever since you
Yes.
debuted it out here, the Winston
Yep.
Cup Series hat.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for it. I bought it online.
I
This-
gotcha.
This is honestly depressing. This is the first time that we've ever talked diecast
With
with
TJ.
TJ.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've been
Yeah.
having diecast discussions for months.
Really?
We were all addicted to Whatnot for a little while. Buying.
Tim says we. I was not on there because I knew I would spend money on there. I went through a Whatnot addiction like a year before they
Yeah.
did with video game stuff, and there was one stream where I spent like $400.
Yeah.
My diecast collection now. I've got some, the bigger cars, the
Mhm.
124ths.
Yep.
Those were QVC finds back when they used to do the racing,
Yeah.
the Friday night
Yep.
show on
Mhm.
QVC, and they
Yeah.
would have one of the drivers would be on there
Mhm.
every week, and they'd be live from the track sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I ordered several of mine from that.
So we need to see that collection. He's got classics. He's
Yeah.
got
It's
some
got good
classics.
stuff.
Yeah.
I've got some good ones. I've also got some of got a box of them. It's the Hot Wheel size,
Mhm.
The 164.
164, yeah.
and they came with the cards and the stand.
Yep.
And so it's got the baseball.
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
the baseball type card, that you just put in the stand behind the car.
My
Yeah.
dad, I had an Ernie Irvan one, and there
Yeah.
was a guy on that card that went behind the stand that looked exactly like my dad, and I was like, this guy looks just like you. And he goes, that is me. And I was like, really? For years, thought he was on Ernie Irvan's pit crew, because he was involved in
Mhm.
racing. He let me believe that until I told a friend of mine in front of him. I was like, tell him about you racing with Ernie Irvan. He's like, I never raced with Ernie Irvan. I was messing with you. Broke my heart. Just crushed me as a child.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, I know somebody who was good buddies with Ernie Irvan. He will be on the podcast eventually. But real quick,
Well, I got some stuff I need signed, man.
Yeah.
but
Right.
real quick, if you ever want to sell out your diecast collection, just know that we're family discounted.
Family discounted.
Yeah.
We'll
For
do a
sure.
bulk
Several
rate.
of them are that will definitely never be for sale.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have
that's literally my whole
Sentimental.
collection.
yeah, I have a couple that I would be willing to let go of, but
Got some other
but as y'all know,
memorabilia,
I have my
signed
select few that
pictures
will
and
never
stuff
go
like that.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any signed diecast?
No, but I've got some limited edition ones.
Okay.
So a couple of Dale Earnhardt Jr. ones.
Nice.
The baseball car.
Yep.
I've got that one. I've got the raced version. So
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
where it's
Yep.
like, they
Nice.
take the pictures of it.
Yeah,
the
the
tire
tire
rub
marks
on
and
the
all.
driver's
tire
side,
I've
yeah.
always think the raced versions are so
They
much
look
better.
so cool.
I will say there's a couple race versions where the drivers have blown out their tires
And
during
And the
the
tires are
burnouts,
shredded.
and
Isn't it cool how they do
they
that?
do
Yeah.
such a good job with the race versions.
I tell you the race version that I want, and I was not a huge Dale Earnhardt fan, but I want that flip car because
Oh,
they
yeah,
have the
right.
crash
The
car from
90
'98, I think or '97. He won it in '98.
He won it in 98.
It was
I think
97.
It was 96. Was it?
I thought it was
It
the
was
year
one of the
before.
two, yeah.
That seems right.
I was
And
really
so
young. I don't know.
I just have seen diecasts of that car, and
Mhm.
it is so damaged
They
up like
are
the actual car.
expensive.
They're hugely
they're
expensive,
expensive.
and that's the
They're
reason I don't have one.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I have
Yeah.
a pretty big Dale Earnhardt collection, in which
Mhm.
Davey and Logan have helped me get a couple of them. So
Yeah.
very
Yeah, we got lucky on whatnot where I
Yeah.
got
The Peter
I got the
Max.
Petermax car in a giveaway.
Really.
For
Yeah,
free.
and it was like an $80 or $90 car, and it immediately went to Tim.
Yeah.
Tim was looking for it, and he was like, "Hey, they're doing this one," and I got on whatnot just to enter the giveaway. Got
Wound up
lucky.
winning it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I won something, and we
A
swapped.
Dale Jr. car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we
it was like
swapped.
it was a
Okay.
race version of a Dale Jr. car.
Yeah, it was the same stream.
Yeah.
It was the same
Really?
stream. He did a giveaway. Somebody
So-
bought the car.
So
We
we
said,
were
give it away.
we were actually playing Fortnite, and Tim goes, "Logan, you got it." And I was fighting some people. I was like, "Yeah, I do. I got this." And then he was like, "No, you got it." I was like, "Yeah, I know. I got it." And then he was like, "No, you got the giveaway." I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that."
Yeah.
I thought he was just hyping me up as a teammate.
No, then he died.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. I got way too overhyped on myself.
It is a very reoccurring thing that happens
What,
with Fortnite.
Logan dying on Fortnite? Wow.
That and missing the ball on
And
Rocket
missing the
League.
ball on
Yeah.
Rocket League.
Oh.
It's yeah. Oh yeah, I've even got a catchphrase at this point. It's up, missed it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'd have to definitely check out your diecast collection.
I'll have to send y'all some pictures of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
for sure.
sure. We need to start bringing one and put it in the center. Bring a couple and put them on the table. I think that'd be pretty
I
cool.
thought you were gonna get us a helmet.
I have not been back over to his house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got a
But-
helmet, but I think a few diecasts would be cool.
Yeah, for
But-
sure. I can bring
Um,
my helmet. I mean, it's got the radio and everything. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Don Tanner pinstriped it for me, so
Cool. But anyway, getting back on topic here.
Yeah.
We
Sorry
went-
about that.
We went way off topic for a minute. But anyway, so Carter Taylor winning the Legends, Bryce Castile, Cameron Mallett second and third, Chase Hart, and then Mason Robertson. 3 out of the 5 are Bando boys,
Mhm.
top 5. So that's what we've dubbed the guys that's jumped up.
Yeah.
yeah, we had so many that came up. and
Right.
so-
Junior champs had a bit of a shakeup
yeah.
in Tech Shed. So do you know exactly what happened, or you just know they've got DQ'd?
Just tolerance differences between a go no go gauge and the way that things were being measured on one. I heard. I don't know what happened with the third place. I know the winner. What happened with him?
Gotcha.
That got explained to me earlier tonight. I don't know enough about it to really speak on it, but
Gotcha.
it was a tolerance between difference of measurements.
Gotcha.
And so it wasn't an egregious act of cheating. It was literally just a mistake
Mhm.
that happened. But illegal is illegal.
Right.
And so the one thing I do want to shout out there is that division has not had a repeat winner this year.
Right.
And we've had 2
Yep.
first-time winners. That is incredible for it.
Yep. And then this weekend, Jansen Lundy getting that
That's
win.
one of our first-time winners.
So congrats to Jansen Lundy.
Yep.
Cale Eubanks, he's a rookie, and I mean second place
Yeah.
after the DQs, but still running very well. Natalie Earhart, our thumbs up favorite. Boom, giving up the thumbs ups.
For sure.
Madeline Rayner finished 4th after all the DQs and stuff, and then Evan Goff rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Evan got some damage in a wreck.
Yep.
I believe him and Faith Finney
Faith
got
Finney.
together over in 1 and 2,
Yeah,
and he had to pull off early, bent something on the front end. He did stay out there and try and make it work, but
Right.
just bent something on that
yeah.
front
I don't
end.
know if you saw on Facebook after Shay, Faith's stepmom,
Mhm.
posted that Faith's hand got stuck in the wheel when
Yeah.
it hit Evan. So I'm sure that hurt. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that's happened many times out here though, TJ.
Mhm.
You see someone's just hand get caught and just, man, I'm sure that hurts. That
Oh, yeah.
has to hurt. So shout out to the junior champs. Oh, and then Hadley Murphy rounded out the field. Tate Waller and Bubba Foley were the two that got unfortunately DQ'd in Tech. To the Bandos, Mason Massey, man, he's putting on a clinic so far this year.
He
Did
has
it-
been dominant this
Yeah.
Did
season.
it without part of the bumper too,
Yeah.
because Colton Murphy got a little loose on the initial start, came down, and what was crazy was whenever he made that contact, it flattened out the left front of his bumper because the bumpers are curved on those Bandos, and just took a hunk like this big out of the quarter panel of Mason's
Yeah.
back bumper.
Yeah, we saw it fly off. And what was
Mhm.
that? And you're like, I'm pretty sure that's the back edge of
Yep.
this car.
And
there.
then whenever he came around, you could see it.
Right. So Mason Massey again with the win. Patrick Makowitz second. Colton Murphy third. Connor Peterman, Ethan Caress rounded out the top 5.
Mhm.
Gil Miles the third. Trip Evans and Zoe Floyd rounded out the field. Zoe had some damage from an accident as well, so
Yep.
she had to pull off a little early. Bando's very competitive this year. Just Mason Massey has been able to pull out the win.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not been easy for him. I know not this past weekend. Well, this past weekend there was a little bit of damage there, but the weekend before that car was on both ends, I think.
mhm.
And so the hood was all jacked up, the rear bumper was jacked up, and so still able to go out there and get the job done.
Yeah. Senior champs, this is the one we had to kind of do their own class because there was a lot of them that showed up. Thomas Miller getting the win.
Yeah, I think that's his first ever win.
Yeah. Congrats. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been racing
Made a
many years.
beautiful move.
Mhm.
The two leaders got to really racing. He sat back, got a heck of a run, and once he got around them, they kept racing. He just drove away with
Yeah.
it.
That draft.
That draft, I was fixing to say,
That
you
we
could see it
mentioned
because
earlier.
they were just back and forth. I don't remember who it was. Alex and Colby Wolford, I think. Alex
Yeah,
Eubanks
that's
and
exactly
Colby
what it
Wolford
was.
were side by side, and he just off of turn 2 got, I guess, the perfect draft spot and was just right
Yeah,
past them.
well, those two carts got side by side. It slowed both of them down and made such a huge hole in the air that he just, like you said, right past them. And then, they kind of lined back up for a second, but then coming off of 4, they got back side by side, and he just walked away with it.
Yeah. So congrats to Thomas Miller. Great job, great vision on the
Mhm.
racetrack in that move. Alex Eubanks second, Colby Wolford third. Elena Sorensen in her debut finished 4th, and like we said, she had that tire issue. So
Yeah, I don't think she ever came back out after that. So
yeah, so she first top 5 on her first night.
hey, that's always good. A top 5 anytime, but especially on the opening night. I was just happy I only went like 1 or 2 laps down my first night.
Right. And then Hensley Tanner rounded out the top 5
Mhm.
for the senior champs. Oopsie, that's the Bandos. I got 2 copies of Bandos. Pro senior champs. Now these guys are putting on a show each week. Now,
Yeah.
these guys are fast and they're just everywhere, dicing it up the entire race. Jason Maddox again with the win this past Saturday.
Which was crazy because I don't even think he turned a lap in qualifying. He pulled out to qualify and broke.
Yep.
And never came back out to qualify. Was able to work his way up through the heat race, improve his starting position for the feature, and then was able to go out and get that win in the feature.
Yeah, he started 4th, and I mean he's been racing a very long time. He's very knowledgeable in the karts. Obviously, several wins under his belt, so that that extra experience coming into play.
Well, that Maddox name, Mad Dog,
Yeah.
several years over at Mobile, having that family history of racing is
Right.
a big thing as well.
Yeah, for sure. Matt Green second, William Wilson third, Hunter Lewis 4th, and Matt Nelson, who I can't remember. I could be misquoted, but I thought Matt Nelson was the one that caught his own tire in practice. I just don't remember.
We had so many.
We got to
it was
get
hard
that
to keep up
footage.
with it,
Yeah,
I
we got to
know
get that footage.
Which Matt Green, he was trying everything he could
Mhm.
to win that race. He was slicing and dicing.
He
He
pulled-
was making so many good moves.
He pulled some crossovers and got the lead, but
Yeah.
it was or pulled some good moves to get the lead. But as soon as he would get the lead, he'd get crossed back over
Yeah.
and passed again.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just good slicing and dicing,
Mhm.
really all around in that division. But
Mhm.
It's
Well,
been a very competitive
but
division.
but for those two leaders to go back and forth, I want to say they swap spots almost every single turn.
Yeah, yeah, and it just a testament of the draft again for
Yeah.
how fast those carts are going. I mean, crossover after crossover, it's just always fun to watch the pro senior champs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're fast, the experience level, and it's just so fun to watch them on the track. And of course, can't forget our Mighty Mites. No particular order. Again,
Yeah.
we don't keep scoring and timing for the Mighty Mites.
Well, and we'll preface this with, I've had to make the difficult decision a couple times. The Mighty Mites don't all slow down at the same rate. They
Right.
will get passed under caution, stuff like that. So for effective time, I've made the call a couple weeks in a row here to just as they come back around to the start line, let's
Stop
line
'em.
them up that way. We're working on amending that.
Mhm.
We talked about it tonight with track ownership and stuff like that about ways to get that more sorted out. Because I never thought about how it made those kids feel.
Right.
I more was focused on the time, the fact that everybody is a winner. It's not really a scored division, so the position wouldn't matter as much, but never took into account the feelings of the kids. And
Right.
so I do want to apologize to the Mighty Mighty parents for that.
Yeah. And it's a learning division, and we're still learning things about it ourselves.
Exactly.
So,
And we
um,
have so many now. We used to not
11.
have as many
Yeah.
as we do now. We used to
Yeah.
have like 5 or 6. A lot easier to keep up with them.
Right.
Whereas now they're all the way around the racetrack.
We have 11 Mighty Mites, and
Yeah.
I think that's been pretty consistent all year.
Yeah.
So let's quick shout out to all of our Mighty Mites: Waylon Boster, Parker Corey, Drew Goff, Crew Hollingsworth, Rick Hudson, Rip Hudson. Those are two very hard to tell the difference because they're
Yeah.
literally the same. Just one has a 3 and one has a 33.
Yep.
But very beautiful carts indeed. Laurel Lewis, Declan Stewart, Jacob Strickland, Tucker Waller, and Paisley Wilkerson. All of our Mighty Mites. And just another generation to watch come up through the ranks.
Yeah.
I feel
Crazy,
like.
crazy too how many of those started out as tiny mites the
Yeah.
last couple of years and then, made that transition into actual go-karts.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we might even see them in Legends out here one day.
You
Just
never know.
Maybe so.
within my short 3 years of being here, the Mighty Mite class has grown
Mhm.
so much.
Right.
Just within, like I said,
And
my 3 years.
the
Right.
skill level has grown so
Yeah,
much.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
do
used to
really
run
good.
all over each other. We used to not make a lap without somebody going through the dirt, being put down in the dirt,
3 or 4 in the
something.
grass at
Yeah,
once.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, we do our best to try and let them run.
Mhm.
If we have a situation where we do have some curbing down there on the infield now. It is as smooth as we can get it, but it still causes some
Mhm.
bumps and stuff like
Disturbance, right.
that, to where we do have to send people out there sometimes.
Right.
And a lot of them are young. We don't want them to pull back out in front of the track. So last resort is throwing a caution.
Right.
But we do have to do it every now and then.
Yeah. I mean,
And speaking of cautions, this class of Mighty Mites has gotten so good at paying attention to the lights.
that's where I was literally
'Cause
fixing to go.
I
I was
remember-
fixing to go there with
I,
that.
I,
Yeah.
I remember last season we would throw a caution, and it would take like 2 or 3 laps to get the whole field to get to caution speed to where
I will
now it's almost immediate.
I will attribute that somewhat to the kids being a little bit more attentive, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is the new lights that we have.
Yeah.
They are so bright.
They
Yeah.
are so bright. You don't even have to look for the light. You
Right.
can see it out of your
Yeah.
peripheral. The Abe and Andrew have done such a good job of where they set the lights up at. There's one at the end of the turn 1 right there straight whenever you're going in. There's one coming off of 2. And so it's one of those where I've been a lot more critical of the drivers to where if you're speeding under caution, I'm going to get on
You
to
don't
you
have an
because
excuse
there is
now.
absolutely
Yeah.
no reason or
Yeah.
no way you did not see those lights.
Yeah. There's no excuse. I mean, the old, stop street lights, they worked, but they weren't very bright.
And you
Well-
had to glance at them,
Mhm.
and so it wasn't something you could see out of your peripherals like these LEDs
And,
are.
and not only that, but there was a blind spot right there in turn 4 because you
Mhm.
had that one right before turn 3,
then
and you
you
didn't have another one.
Until the flags man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of did have that blind spot.
Yeah.
But the way that these new LEDs are set up, you have one in turn 3 and turn 4.
Yeah.
So no matter where, and as soon as you pass that one in turn 4, you're looking at the one going
Yeah.
into turn 1.
And,
Yeah.
So
and
no matter where you are on the track, you have to see that light.
again, how bright they are, you don't
Yeah.
even have to look at them. You can
Yeah.
see them out of your peripheral, and they are very clearly, the green is very bright, the yellow is very bright, and we've only had to use the red one time, but it was
Right.
still just as bright.
Yeah.
So,
And speaking of bright, I would like to give a shout out to the fireworks at the end of
Yeah.
every single legend race.
Yeah. That
They,
sounds pretty cool. Have they ever
Yeah.
done fireworks before the season that you know of? Do you remember?
Not unless it was like a big special race.
Gotcha.
They used to do them like they used to run what the Labor Day or Memorial Day
Mhm.
Day race. They used to run
Mm-hmm.
years ago. They would do it, but
No.
not unless it was a special occasion.
Yeah. Something that Abe and Andrew have also cooked up
Yeah.
at the
A
end of
lot
every
of-
race night.
Yeah.
a lot of really cool changes to
Yeah.
really,
Mhm.
give the fans a better show.
Better show.
We've always had great racing,
Right.
competitive racing, but now it's so much more of an experience to come to this racetrack.
Right.
and we're still trying to make improvements.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we make changes every week. I know, and people don't like that a lot of times, but when we make those changes, we're trying to make everything better.
Right.
It's just like the first week whenever I made the mistake of not doing the choose rule properly, letting cars that were involved in the caution choose. we amended that immediately.
Right.
You know, we did it for the first night because we didn't want anybody to be have any kind of favoritism or anything like that. But since then, we amended it, and we've been very consistent with that. There's been other things that we've had to change. You know, we were doing the dice roll was the previous feature winner was rolling the dice. Now from here on out, it's going to fall on the fast qualifier.
Right.
Because you know, if our previous feature winner doesn't show up, then we have to remember who ran second.
Right.
So it's just things that not only make it better overall for that night, it makes it a little easier on us.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And I mean, we're learning on the fly. There's still things, you know, each week we're still learning. It took me 2 years to remember Cameron Millet's name,
Yeah.
which is actually Mallet. It's a
Mallet.
joke, sorry. But I mean, learning on the fly and as we go and adapting to the changes.
Yeah.
But anyway, TJ, you've been a great guest, man. I was
Great to
fun-
be here.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun to
It's
bring you
fun.
on.
I know we've talked about it several times. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's good to finally do it.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely bring you back and get in some more stories and some more history that you have buried deep in the memory banks there.
Hopefully so. I can remember some of it.
Yeah.
The next time you have to bring out some of your diecast, well, I'll bring some. We'll have like a show.
There
and
you
We'll
go.
have it showing
Yeah.
you diecast. This is
Yeah.
my favorite one.
Yeah.
My buddy Logan won for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, we want to thank y'all for being a part of the From the Tower family. We love you guys, and we'll see y'all next episode.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.